I joined First Baptist Church in Merrifield when I was either 10, between the age of 11 and 12,
Mm-hmm.
under Reverend Henry S. Washington, pastor.
He was the pastor in, let's see, if you were 12, what year was that?
42.
1942?
I'm not sure about the age, but it was around in there somewhere.
And what are some of the things you remember about your childhood at First Baptist Church of Maryfield?
That it was that it was good going to Sunday school, church. My uncle, he was a that raised me. He was a deacon. We had to be in church, Sunday school, morning church, evening church. That's what I remember.
Mm-hmm. What's something that stands out about what you carry with you today?
Love you one another.
Because from what I understand, people really stuck together there, and they really helped each other survive.
Yes, they did. They were like family.
Can you tell me a little bit about that and some of the other people that really held the church together?
Well, it was a close-knit neighborhood. There were the Collins, the Turris, the Blands, Gibsons, Blackwells,
Mm-hmm.
Woodlands, and others that I maybe can't think of right now.
Now, did they all live around the church?
Yes,
Did you live around the church as well?
yes,
Where did you live?
on Gallows Road, right where near where the Silver Diner is now.
Okay, and who did you live with? Who was all in your family?
Well, it was my uncle, Joseph Collins, and his wife, and my sister, Eileen Wright.
And what was your uncle's name?
Joseph
Oh, Joseph was
Collins.
your uncle. And now Joseph, can you tell me a little bit about Joseph? Because he was there. He was one of the. He was a deacon, was he? Or
Yes, he was.
can you tell me a little bit about Joseph Collins?
Well, he was good. He was a good uncle. He was faithful going to church. He kept us in church. And what more can I say? And we loved him.
From what I understand, he really helped that church grow and survive.
Yes.
So can you tell me any more about what he did to, like, what were his duties?
Well, he was a digger. I think at one point he was a head digger, and then he used to help the pastor when they had baptizing in the creek.
Were you baptized in the creek?
No.
But you went down there for some of those
Yes,
baptisms.
yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about what that was like?
Well, it was nice. I mean, it was. I was young, but I liked to see it. So.
How did they do it? How would you describe one of those baptisms, the service?
Well, they would sing a song, and then the pastor would go in the creek and with the person to be baptized, and my uncle, he would go out there, and when they dip him in the water, he would just help them. The pastor.
Now, was it really cold sometimes, or did they do it in all different seasons?
They didn't do it in the winter. I don't know.
but in the fall, and because I heard some stories about how it was really cold sometimes.
I don't remember because I got baptized in I think it was the winter, I'm not sure, but it was too cold to be baptized in the creek, so we were baptized over in Deanwood Baptist Church in D.C.
Mm. And I see a replica of the church right there behind you. Is that what the old church looked like?
Yes.
Who made that?
Uh, who made the little church?
The little replica right there.
Russell Haight, husband of my cousin, Helen Haight.
And he was a member of the church as well?
I don't know. She was. I don't remember. Maybe he was. I don't remember. But I know she was.
Tell me a little bit about the neighborhood and how you guys got along with the other races and things like that.
Well, pretty much we got along. Well, I did. We got along with the few people that lived along Gallus Road. They were friendly. And there was a store down at the corner, and Vincent's store. And they were nice people, and they treated us all right.
You know, how would you describe that area and where the houses were situated in relationship to the church and the people who lived in those houses?
Well, some of the houses were close right around the church, and some were up further on Gallus Road, but it wasn't walking distance.
And so you guys all played together right there?
Yes.
On the church grounds. Was the church like the center of everything? Is that where everybody gathered for church and play and everything else? Or were there like other little parks and things around?
Basically, it was around the church. I don't remember about the parks. I was in the church coming on up through the years until, and as far as I'm concerned, I'm still a member of the church, and I've been all these years. Sometimes I have been, regularly, but I'm still go
Okay.
when I can.
What were some of the things you participated in the church? So, such as like any ministries or anything like that, or Sunday school? Or?
Yes, I went to Sunday school. They had something back then called the BYPU, the Baptist Young People's Union. And I sang in the choir for a while, and I sang in the chorus for a while.
So can you tell me a little bit about the BYPU and some of your experiences, what you guys did?
It was just going there, learning the Bible. But later, in my later years, up till now, I joined the missionaries, and I'm still in the missionaries, but sometimes I'm not able to attend like I should the meetings.
What are some of the things that missionaries do?
They visit the sick and shut in, go to nursing homes, and help those who, that are down and out, things like that. My uncle and his wife that raised me, going back to Joseph Collins, we were practically raised by them. And we was just in the church all the time.
Now, your cousin was Guy Collins, right?
Yes.
And Guy was the music minister. So were you in the choir during his tenure as
for a little while.
So tell me a little bit about Guy, because you kind of grew up with Guy, right?
Yeah, he's my first cousin.
So tell me, what are your thoughts and memories about Guy?
Well, he's nice, and he was dedicated to his work, and he taught piano lessons.
Did he teach you?
I took a session of it I could play a little bit, but not that much. I didn't finish.
Mm-hmm.
I know the notes.
Do you remember when Cousin Guy took over, started playing at Merrifield, and how he learned the music through uh, Grandma Jenny Ransel? Do you recall those days?
Yes. I vaguely I remember was Aunt Jenny. She was she was a played. Didn't she play the piano? And I'm not too vaguely remember too much about it.
Was she and Guy Collins?
Right.
Okay.
She and she and Guy they played in the church
Now, you and Dolly kind of grew up together too, right?
a little bit. I'm a little older than she was, but we played together and stuff back in the day.
What were some of your memories about Dolly?
Um, she was a nice girl. She played the piano too, but I didn't hang out that much with her. She has older sister.
So now, after what was the first pastor that you came in with?
Reverend Henry Washington.
Reverend Henry Washington. Now, after Reverend Henry Washington left, who was the pastor after that?
Reverend Charles Parker.
And tell me a little bit about Charles Parker and what you thought about him. And
Well, he was a nice preacher. He came from Washington, D.C. He was sort of quiet, but he was a good pastor. He used to catch the bus out to Merrifield to church on Sundays. And I think maybe somebody, I don't know how he got back, but maybe some people took him back. I know he had visited my uncle, ran to his house a few times. He was a good preacher, but seemed like he was kind of shy sometimes.
yeah. I know Reverend Graham was one of the more long-serving pastors.
I remember Reverend Graham very well.
Tell me a little bit about Reverend Graham.
Reverend Graham was a very nice pastor. He seemed to take interest in the members, and I liked him.
Back to the community for a minute, and I know beyond the church there was a schoolhouse. Can you talk about the schoolhouse and the proximity of where it was located with the church and in that area around the church, and maybe the grades it went to, and where you went to school in that community time?
Well, there was a little one-room school up right up the road on the same street past the church. It was Merrifield Elementary School. And then later on, they had a two-room school further down Gallus Road, back off of Gallus Road. There was two-room school, elementary school. I attended that until I graduated, and then I went to Manassas High School catch the bus and go to Manassas.
Was one of those schools, is that the piano store now? The piano store. That was the Odd Fellow. Was that the Odd Fellow?
Yes, that was Odd Fellows Hall.
How was that building used then? Do you remember?
They used to have movies up there, and they used to have dances up there.
Did you ever go to any of those dances?
No, I was too young then.
So now, what did you do for fun when you were, like, say, a teenager?
What did I do for fun?
Mm-hmm.
Well, well, I could dance a little bit, and go to movies and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Where would they have the dances?
Huh?
Where would they have the dances? Where would you have to go for a dance or a party kind of atmosphere?
Well, we would go to this place called Cross Creek and somewhere in Gainesville, Vienna, different places where they would have,
Different dances and stuff, and so the guys. How did the guys treat you? Were they fresh? Were they fun? Were they respectful?
well, they're always fresh, but you have to put them in their place, some of them, you know.
So when did you start dating?
I think maybe, I might have been 16 or 17.
Mm-hmm. So I have a 16-year-old daughter right now. It scares me to death.
Oh, yeah.
But she's okay.
Well, he came to the house, He came to the house, but that didn't last too long. Well, he was in the service.
Was he a member of the church?
Hmm.
What was his name?
It was a McCoy.
Who was your husband?
Charles Grayson?
And was he a member of the church originally?
No.
He came to the church.
No, he didn't belong to the church.
So tell me a little bit about your husband, how you met him. And
Well, his family, they moved to Murrayfield, and he started talking to me, and sooner or later we got married.
So where did they live in the area when they came to
They lived,
Where did they live in Merrifield when they moved there?
They lived in a house down across from where Luther Jackson.
Okay. Like close
No,
to where
wait a
the
minute.
McDonald's is now?
Yeah. Or was it that hall? It might have been that hall up there. Some people had lived in, I think they might have lived in that hall for a while. The Graysons lived in that hall up there, I believe was that hall.
and so how long were you guys married?
Let me see, when did we get married? Let me think. For 50-something years, I believe, till he passed.
Now, did he participate in any activities in the church or?
No, he didn't go to that church.
And your grandparents, what were their names?
My grandparents.
You said you didn't really know them, but their names, I was wondering.
William Collins, and I can't think of her name.
Okay, but William Collins and his wife then.
Hmm.
Okay.
And William Collins was one of the founders of the church.
I'm not talking. There was a couple of William Collins.
Talk about that a little bit.
Now it was a William Collins, that Guy Collins' father. But I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about his father,
Right.
I think. Yeah.
William Collins Sr. Was there a senior?
There was a William Collins Sr. Wait a minute. William Collins. Was William Collins Sr. Yeah, I think.
He's one of the founders of the church back in the 1800s.
So
I
your
get-
grandfather was back there in the day when the church was founded then. That's
Mhm.
what we understand. Okay.
What do you remember about Jim Crow? Because you kind of came through that whole Jim Crow era.
I can't recall too much of it. I think now, I'm trying to think whether if we rode a bus we had to sit on. No, I don't remember too much about
Was there
that.
anything that you were fearful of during
No.
that time? You were pretty well protected for the most part.
I don't know about being protected, but I mean, I didn't really come in contact with a whole lot of it.
So the black-white issue back in that time frame didn't affect that area where you lived?
Not me. It might have, but I don't,
What was you remember some of the names of the white families that were in the neighborhood at that time?
There was the Marys, Anderson, and there wasn't too many on Gallows Road.
Were you all friendly with them? They
Yeah,
friendly?
yeah.
What are you most proud of about that church?
Proud because I joined it.
Anything else besides just joining? I mean,
Um, uh, I guess I'm proud to see that it's still surviving.
as far as the music of the church, when you sit back in your bed or sit in a chair and look back and think about like what kind of songs run through your head that you remember?
A whole lot of old songs.
Such as?
Um, Onward Christian Soldiers, and he was
Back to the community for a minute.
Old Rugged Cross. A whole lot of old songs.
Can you hum a tune of one of your favorite songs? Give me a little something, something.
Let me see. On a hill far away stood an old rugged cross, the emblem of suffering and shame. That's all. I'm kind of hoarse.
That was good.
That's okay. Now, what level of education did you achieve?
High school
High school degree.
and a GED.
Mm-hmm. So now, what is your prayer for the future of the church?
That they future of the church, that they I can't find the right words to say, that they just keep on moving up and be victorious, I guess.
Okay.
I'd like to ask you one other community question. Being in the Merrifield area with the Pines and Williamstown and those areas basically being black communities, did you, Merrifield, did y'all interact much with people in the Pines and the people in Williamstown in those areas? And could you talk a little bit about that? If you did some interaction? 'Cause I think some of them were family members as well. In those different
Yeah, in the
areas.
Pines, seemed like everybody in the Pines was related to me. And Williamstown, I knew a lot of people there, but my sister lived over there at one time.
What's your sister's name again?
Eileen Wright.
So did they belong to Merrifield, First Baptist? Some of them, some of the people, families and from Pines and
Yeah,
Williamstown belong
yeah,
to Merrifield?
yeah. I think everybody from the Pines belonged to Merrifield at one point or another. There was the Grays and the Marshalls and the Lees and the Collins and the, who else? Robertsons and did I say Turs? They had Turs down there too.
How proud were you when you all walked into the new church?
Real proud.
Because that was a big accomplishment to get that church built, wasn't it?
Yes, I think so.
Did you participate in any of the fundraising or anything?
I don't know. I can't remember. Maybe if they took up a collection or something, I might have anticipated
Did
it.
you sell any chicken dinners? Because I heard they were selling chicken dinners.
No, I didn't sell no chicken dinners.
Did they have a stand like on the where the parking lot is now, where the trash can is a stand where they sold dinners right there for the church, but it wasn't really on the church grounds, but it was like. Do you recall anything like that?
I don't remember.
Okay.
Maybe they did. I don't know.
So now during the the war years, what was life like, when the men had to go off to war, and what did you guys do to kind of help support them or support the community to keep things going?
Well, I didn't really have no part in that. Because when it was had all the war stuff, well, I knew some people that went, but, you know,
There was World War II, and then the Korean War.
I don't know what war it was. I don't know what war it was. I know they used to have, I remember years ago they used to have, some war they had blackouts. They used to have blackouts. And you had, and you had to have your lights out or have them blackout curtains or whatever. Blacks, so you couldn't see the light through the window and stuff. I do remember that.
When was that? About how old were you when that was going on?
I don't know.
Were you in your 20s?
No, I was young.
Like when you were a child?
Yeah.
Like 12 years old, 13, 14?
That was way back when.
So what year were you born?
30.
Okay, so we're talking in the 40s. So that was during the World War II.
Something, I guess.
Yeah, so that was during World War II.
Do you remember a military base in the Merrifield area across the street from where my grandmother's house is, over in that area where
Across from where?
in the Merrifield area? Do you remember any kind of military base or camp?
No.
Where some of the soldiers came?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Was there?
There was something called, I put Camp Algier or something like that.
No.
Okay, that was a different time then.
So who were your role models?
Women or men?
Well, both. First women, then men.
My role model was my parents. I'll say my guardians and my parents.
Now, is there anybody that in your lifetime that you admired a lot, and who do you admire the most today?
I don't know. Admire.
Yeah, somebody that you admire, that you're impressed with. Is there anybody that really impresses you?
Yeah.
Who's that?
My children.
Tell me about your children. We haven't talked about your children.
Oh, I'm just proud of them.
What are their names, and how old are they, and what do they do? And
I gotta go through all that.
yeah, we want to know
I
about
got
you.
a long list.
All right, well, we got plenty tape.
How many children do you have?
I have, let's see, 3. I had 5. I had 6.
And they are their names and ages?
The boys, Norman, he's 60. 1, I believe. I might be wrong, I have to think about it and see. Yeah, he's 61. Leroy, who you see in church all the time, he's 50 something. I have to stop and think. He's 50. He's 54. Wait a minute, 50. I don't know. And
Then it's 50s.
and then Gerald. He's deceased. Then there's Sharon, the one that's here. She's, I don't know. I have to stop and think. I mean, I'm just going there. And then I have Aretha. I have Aretha, and then my youngest is Cornell.
Okay. And you're obviously very proud of all of them.
Yeah. Good or bad.
All right.
So when you all were growing up, did you and your sister Aileen have to be with anybody special when you all went out or anything? I was talking with your sister for a few minutes, and she was telling me how, like my mother, Pauline Gray, was like y'all chaperone.
Yeah.
you all couldn't go any place until unless my mother, Pauline Gray, was along. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
But I can't remember too much. I mean, like we go to church, something like that. But I really can't remember that too much.
But you all interacted quite a
Right,
bit
right.
with cousins such as that. Okay.
Yeah.
So, just want to ask you about a few other people and just see what your thoughts were. What did you think about Martin Luther King?
I thought he was a great leader for what he was doing, trying to accomplish or whatever he accomplished.
Did you go to the March on Washington?
No.
Or not?
Too many people.
What about Jesse Owens?
Who is that?
Jesse Owens was a track star. He was in the Olympics.
Oh, I seen it on TV. Wasn't really into that.
Or what about Jackie Robinson?
He's a baseball player.
Mhm.
Yeah. Mhm.
What did he mean to you and to the significance to black people?
Well, I was proud he was, star.
What about Medgar Evers?
He was the one got killed in South down there. Mhm.
What was it like? What did you guys think and feel when that happened?
Feel sad.
Was the Ku Klux Klan, were they prevalent during your time in this area?
It probably was. But I never had no dealings with my. I mean, I've had dealings with, with the white folks that could have been Klans for all I know. But the way they look at you and maybe said some kind of words or something.
Now, was there a baseball team, a minor league baseball team in the area?
I don't know. I don't recall.
Did you play sports?
Yeah,
What sports did you play?
softball.
Yeah, were you good?
Yep,
Okay.
pitcher, catcher.
Did y'all move around playing the different softball games
Mhm,
in areas, different
mhm.
locations? How did you come to live with your Uncle Jesse? You and I.
My who?
You with Jesse. You and your sister.
Uncle Joe?
Uncle Joe. I'm sorry. You all came to live with them. I was wondering how you all came to
Because at the time, way back in, they tell me my father got killed. Have you ever heard that?
live on church steps.
No.
No. Okay.
My uncle got killed. My father got killed. Um, one of the Robinsons shot him. You never heard that?
I may have heard a part of that story, not the whole story. Do you want to tell us the story? You mind?
No, I don't.
That's okay.
I don't want
All
to go
right,
through
that's
that. But anyway, after that, my father's sister, her name was Martha Robinson. I think that she had us for a little bit, and then my uncle, Joseph Collins, him and his wife, he became our legal guardian after, well, my mother died when I was 10 days after I was born. So then after my father passed, my uncle, me and my sister, he went to Fairfax and made our guardian. So him and his wife, so he was just same as our parents. So that's the way that was.
So he was a brother of
My father,
your father.
my father's brother.
Do you know how your mother died?
They say she had pneumonia, so I don't know. You never can tell back in the day if you don't know.
Always wondered about that, so thank you for answering. How was the family involved with taking care of the old church? I know they did certain things with the coal or whatever. Can you talk about that a little bit? How they helped to maintain the old church?
I don't know, really.
Because I think they helped to families help to clean up and
Oh yeah,
fold
oh
up?
yeah.
Can
I
you talk
know
a
it.
little bit about
At
that?
one certain part, my aunt that you know we were living. I guess I don't know if she was what you call a janitor or something, but she would clean the church, and me and my sister we would go there. And, you know, I don't know who had it before she did or after she did,
That's what you all did.
but she cleaned the church and we'd go in there and sweep and dust and help her, you know, like that.
And who helped stoke the furnace downstairs?
As far as I know, there was Mr. Terry and Mr. Johnson.
Okay. No, I thought it was someone in your family that helped do that as well. Jesse or no? Oh.
I know we used to call him Uncle Willie, but he was, you know, he wasn't really my uncle, but he was my, you know. So Uncle Willie, his name was Johnson. He lived right there next to the church. He was married to my aunt. My aunt that married my uncle, he was married to her sister. So we called him uncle, but and aunt, but it really wasn't. You know how people grow up, like Cousin Vivian, you know, the Blackwells? We used to call their parents Cousin Vivian, but actually they weren't really our cousin, but, you know, we was all, you know. So we just said cousin.
So it's really a community
Right.
involvement that you maintained, and everyone was involved with maintaining the church, basically.
Yeah. So that's Mr. Broom then, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
I done seen you in church, but I didn't know.
Yeah, well, now I know who you are, so I'll make sure I say hello and give you a big hug every time.
So so that's what you do is
Well, I have two careers.
what's that?
I have,
Other
this
one.
is my filmmaking career, which is what I used to do in Hollywood. And, but then I became a single parent, which is the daughter that you've seen. And so I stopped working as a directing music videos and as a camera assistant. And I eventually started a swim school. I wrote a couple books about swimming. I'm a subject matter expert in aquatics.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I teach swimming. I teach everything that has anything to do with water.
Where you teach at?
I have in D.C., right on the waterfront on Southwest.
Oh yeah.
There's a little club called Waterside Fitness and Swim Club.
It's funny though. Me and my sister, we took a swimming class a few years ago. How many years ago that been?
20 years.
Ain't been no 20 years ago.
Years.
It ain't been no 20 years ago.
Sure.
And we took swimming just right over here at Lee District, over there. And so anyway, the swim was all right, but then you had to stand on there and jump in the man said, don't worry. So anyway, I jumped in there, boy. I can swim a little bit, you know, but not enough to save me, I guess. I don't know.
Well, you know, the oldest person I ever taught how to swim, she was 84 years old, 85, but she had a stroke, so only half her body worked, and I still taught her how to swim.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, we are finished. And thank
Good.
you again. You said good.
Let me take the microphone off.
All right.